All right, let's talk about one of the biggest traps in the world of AI, how we measure success. Because as you're about to see, the most common metric, the one everybody defaults to, can be a total lie. So, picture this. You've just built your new AI model. You run the numbers and boom, 95% accuracy. That's an A+, right? You're probably thinking it's time to break out the champagne, deploy this thing, and call it a day. But hold on a second. In artificial intelligence, that beautiful shiny number could be hiding a complete disaster, a model that is totally failing at the one thing you actually built it to do. To really get why, we've got to talk about accuracy itself. I mean, it's the metric we all know, the one we all reach for first, but that simplicity, it's both its greatest strength and its most dangerous weakness. So what is accuracy? Well, it's just the number of times you were right divided by the total number of guesses. Super simple. You get 95 out of 100 right, you're 95% accurate. It's clean, it's easy to explain to your boss, and that's exactly why it's so tempting to just stop there. Okay, so where does it all go wrong? Well, the whole thing falls apart when our data is imbalanced. What happens when the thing you're actually looking for is like finding a needle in a haystack? Let's use a real-world example to make this stick. Imagine a factory testing 1,000 products. Now, 990 of them are perfect, no issues at all. But 10 of them, 10 have a really bad defect. So we create a super lazy model. It doesn't actually learn anything. Its only job is to say no defect over and over again for every single item. So, what's the accuracy of our lazy model? Well, it got the 990 good products right. So its accuracy is a whopping 99%. On paper, this model looks incredible. And that right there is the trap. It's 99% accurate and 100% useless. It had one job, find the broken parts, and it failed to find even a single one. This is exactly how a great-looking accuracy score can hide a total failure. Okay, so if accuracy can be a liar, what are we supposed to use? Well, we've got to dig deeper and look at the kinds of mistakes the model is making. And this leads us to the classic tug-of-war between precision and recall. To do that, we use a neat little tool called a confusion matrix. Don't let the name scare you. All it does is sort every prediction into one of four boxes: true positives and true negatives, which are the ones we got right, and false positives and false negatives, which are the ones we got wrong. This little grid is the key to everything. And this whole thing really boils down to one question. Which mistake costs you more? On one side, you've got precision. The goal here is to avoid false positives. When you say something is a yes, you'd better be right. Think about credit card fraud. If you flag a legit purchase as fraud, you've just infuriated a good customer. That's a huge cost. On the other side, you've got recall. Here, the goal is to avoid false negatives. You just can't afford to miss something. Think about medical screening. Missing an actual disease is, well, catastrophic. And here's the kicker. These two are almost always fighting against each other. So you've got this constant tension between not crying wolf and not missing the wolf. You need something that balances the two, right? Well, the most popular choice out there, the one most people turn to, is the F1 score. The F1 score is what's called the harmonic mean of precision and recall. Now, that's just a fancy way of saying it penalizes extreme values. So to get a high F1 score, your model has to be good at both precision and recall. You can't just be great at one and terrible at the other. It's designed to be a single, balanced number. And that's really its biggest selling point. People get it. It has a clear, pretty intuitive meaning. It's a balance of those two ideas we just talked about. That clarity is a huge reason why it's become such an industry go-to. But F1 isn't the only game in town. There's another metric, kind of an underdog, that a lot of researchers say is way better, especially for those messy, imbalanced data sets. It's called the Matthews Correlation Coefficient, or MCC for short. So what's the big deal with MCC? Well, remember how F1 balances precision and recall? It actually ignores one part of our confusion matrix, the true negatives. MCC, on the other hand, uses all four boxes. It gives you a score from -1 to +1, where +1 is perfect, 0 is a random guess, and -1 is, well, perfectly wrong. It's a true correlation between what you predicted and what actually happened. And the people who love MCC argue that because it uses the whole picture, it gives you a much more honest and complete look at your model's performance, without the blind spots that can sometimes fool accuracy or even the F1 score. And wow, this visual from a research paper really drives the point home. If you look at the chart on the right, it's plotting MCC against the F1 score. That top row is a highly imbalanced dataset, just like our factory problem. You can see how the other common charts are all over the place, but that MCC F1 curve tells a much cleaner, more stable story about how good the model actually is.
Okay, that was a lot. We've talked about accuracy, precision, recall, F1, and now MCC. So how in the world do you pick the right one for your own project?
Let's just break it down into a simple cheat sheet. Use accuracy only, and I mean only if your data is balanced and making either kind of mistake costs you about the same. Focus on precision when a false alarm is your biggest fear, like blocking that good customer. Go hard on recall when missing something is the real catastrophe, like in our defect or medical examples. The F1 score is your friend when you just need a solid general purpose balance between the two. And finally, you really should consider MCC when your data is imbalanced and you need a model that performs well across the board on positives and negatives. So here's the bottom line, the big takeaway from all of this. There is no single best metric. There's no magic bullet. Choosing the right one isn't really a data science question, it's a business question. It all comes down to the real-world cost of your model's screw-ups.
And that's the final thought I want to leave you with. Next time you're building a model, the first question you should ask isn't what's my target score? The real question is, what happens when I'm wrong? And what does that mistake actually cost me? Because understanding the cost of failure is the only way you'll ever really know if you've succeeded.